Good afternoon, students. In my previous lecture, I have discussed about structure and general accounts of stomata. Today, we will discuss about the gene responsible for the development of the stomata and the function of the stomata and the hormone which is responsible for the development of stomata and their functioning. So, let's come to genetic player. Genetic player. Genetic player means gene is responsible for the development of the stomata. You know Arabidopsis. Okay, Arabidopsis is a model plant. So most of the stomatal development this gene were identified in Arabidopsis. Okay, so there is a plethora of gene. They are responsible for the development of the stomata. So their name is very peculiar. See, epidermal patterning factor. These are the family of the peptides, which is a ligand peptide, which is responsible for the stomatal development. So there is a plethora of genes involved in the patterning of the and development of stomata. So let's see EPF1 epidermal patterning factor 1, EPF2 epidermal patterning factor 2, stomagen. These gene encoded ligand peptide stomagen. These are the negative regulator of stomata. This is positive regulator of the stomata. Okay, so you have another question. This is ligand peptide. Where this ligand bind? So receptor erecta. Erecta is a leucine rich receptor and two many mouth. These are the name of the gene which is responsible for the binding of this ligand. This encoded a receptor proteins. Okay, so there is another gene which is called HDD1, stomatal density and distribution. This is a kind of protease which modify this ligand peptide, and when this ligand peptide is modified, they bind with their receptor, then they proceed stomatal development. So there is a ADA kinase. This signal, when this peptide bind, the signal pass through this ADA kinase and they reach to the transcription factor. There is a 3 transcription factor involved called pharma, speechless and mute. These are the transcription factor. These transcription factor are the positive regulator of the stomatal development. Okay, so you know what is negative regulator? Negative regulator means they suppress the stomatal development. Positive regulator means they increase the number of stomatal development. So I have a question. If we mutate this gene, epidermal patterning factor 1 and 2, what is the consequence? Okay, so there is a huge number of crowding of the stomata. But when we overexpress this gene, okay, then there is a no stomata or very less number of stomata development takes place. Okay, so you know how the stomatal development is measured. Okay, in terms of stomatal density. Stomatal density means number of stomata per millimeter of leaf area, or then another stomatal index. It is a percentage of stomatal cell per 100 cell count. You know how much leaf area accounted by this stomata? Only 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%. 2 to 3% area they account on total leaf area. Okay, so now come to the function of the stomata. What is the function of stomata? Okay, function of stomata. Anybody have any idea? about stomatal function of stomata. What is the function of stomata? Okay, gas exchange. Okay, good. They are responsible for the gas exchange, means they uptake CO2 and release water, and water in the form of vapor and oxygen. This is the very important gas. Water in the form of transpiration. The water which is released by stomata is called transpiration, and 99% of water is transpired by stomata, means only 2% of the they account only 2% of the leaf surface area, but they are responsible for 99% of the. So one of the very good strategy, if you genetically modify the plant with stomata, then it increase the crop water use efficiency, means they minimize water loss and they increase the CO2 uptake. You know how much water is released during the uptake of one molecule of CO2 by the plant? Okay, fine. It is estimated it is 400. 400 water molecule plant release to uptake only one molecule of the CO2. So always remember this thing, how much water is costly, and you know we are facing day by day, we are facing the water scare condition, and it is proceeding, it increase day by day. So this is alarming condition for us. Then another function is cooling of the plant. Cooling of plant. Then immunity, provide immunity to plants. Any other function? Okay. Stomata are good strategy when we are selecting the plant for the air pollution mitigation. So stomata is one of the good player which uptake the environment pollutant, and it is sequestered in the leaf or other part of the plants. So stomata is one of the good one of the function, very important function, which is they uptake the pollutant from the atmosphere. You know, see what, how you know phytovitalization effect. Okay, fine. Phytovitalization effect means what happens? Plant uptake environmental pollution and they utilize for their own life cycle. These features in very common in common language called phytovitalization effect. Okay, now come the factor affecting stomata function and their development. Okay, factor factor effect affecting stomata. Okay, so function of functional aspect, as we have discussed the function. So first we describe the environmental factor, so called exogenous factor. CO2. High CO2 concentration lead to the closing of stomata, and as well as they reduce the number of stomata on the leaf surface. Means you can say CO2 is a anti-transparent. Then another, water scarcity, so called drought. Drought. Drought also lead to the act as a negative regulator of stomata. Means they suppress the stomatal number, and also they reduce the stomatal aperture size. So they are also responsible for the closing of stomata, because I will discuss in later point. Okay. Then light. What is the effect of light? Light responsible for the opening of stomata, especially blue light, as well as they also increase the number of stomata on the leaf surface. Okay. Then Dark. Dark, they are responsible for the closing of stomata. There is no too much study about the development of stomata in dark, but in dark there is one exceptional example. The can plant, they have stomata, they have very peculiar kind of stomata, means scotoactive stomata. They open during the night, not in the day. Okay, then come to the phytohormones. Phytohormones means either they are negative regulator or positive regulator, either they are promoting growth in the plant or suppressing the growth in the plant. So aba is called abscisic acid. Abscisic acid is also called stress hormone. This is hydrosensitive hormone. Hydrosensitive means when water level is down, the aba level is increased, and it's reduce the stomatal aperture size, as well as it reduce the stomatal development. Gibberellic acid, gibberellic acid, they increase the opening of the stomata, as well as they also increase the number of stomata. Cytokinin, they increase in the number of stomata and they promote the opening of stomata. Auxin, they suppress the number of stomata, but they increase the opening of the stomata, means they are the positive regulator of the stomata. Then there is the stygolactone, they are the suppressor of the stomatal aperture. So this is the some special points about the stomata. So now here I stop my topic.